first say thank you for giving me this opportunity. Sanjeevan Vidyalaya is where my heart belongs. I think it is almost like Upendra Gavankar who says that he cannot have one single day without remembering about Sanjeevan, or Umesh, who's always in touch with Sanjeevan, and there are many others, even Vasanta remembers every day. I think Devesh, all of us, Sushil, Kranti. Kranti is all the time in touch with Sanjeevan. She has gone as the chief guest sometimes, and she's guiding the young generation. So Sanjeevan is in my heart. And a day doesn't pass without having some reference to Pasgani or Sanjeevan in the day. It invariably happens that some connection comes. How I went to Sanjeevan, I got the scholarship and then we decided to go from Mumbai to Pasgani. So my father, mother, and I, we got into train from VT, a passenger train, because we wanted to go early in the morning. We had to reach Pune early in the morning so that we could take a bus to Pasgani. So what we did, we got into the train. It's passenger and night. First time in my life, I was seeing the lights of Kopoli from the ghat. Train was climbing up the ghat, and I saw those lights at the dead hour of the night, and I was so amazed. I could not imagine what is this. I didn't understand that these are lights of a city, and I asked my parents, "What is this?" So they said that this is a city. I could not believe it because I thought that in jungle somebody has put some lighting. That was the memory of that journey. Then we got in at Pune and took the ST to go to Sanjeevan. As I remember, the first after climbing up the ghat and taking that round, I found the temperature suddenly drop and it was cool. It was cold. That was Panchgani. So we always knew whenever I came to Sanjeevan by ST, I always knew Sanjeevan aa gaya when the temperature falls suddenly. And the first thing, surprise in my life was that they stopped the bus and asked for money, octroi, ek rupaya. What is this? I asked. This is an octroi for coming to hill station. I was surprised. How and why should they take octroi for coming to hill station? If somebody comes to Bombay, we don't take a octroi for coming to Bombay. So this is a tourist tax kind of. So I was wondering that why is this there? I didn't like it. And the White Ghat is really something which was impressive, and I still remember my first journey up that terrific ghat. Then I was carrying a trunk and a hold all as per the old traditions. So there was a coolie along with us whom we hired from ST stand. So the coolie was carrying the trunk and hold all, and we entered the school premises. वो slope है उसपे से नीचे 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 आ गए, and we entered the office. And there we met Sharad sir, and then they did all the formalities of admission. And then my parents, they left for Mahabaleshwar, and they were worried whether I'll stay there. So they said, I will come back from Mahabaleshwar to see if you are okay. I said, fine, no problem. And I was very happy. So immediately after that, I met one friend. I think Shrikant Maniyar was also my friend. He joined on the same day. He's now in Jalgaon. So then I went and another guy caught me, somebody in the boarding. I don't remember his name. But he said, oh, you come new, come on, come with me. And I just went running behind him. He went into the area which has a lot of trees just behind the dormitories, and there was a big peru tree, and he said, do you know how to climb trees? I said, no. So he said, come, I'll teach you. So he started climbing, and immediately afterwards I started climbing. That was my first day in Sanjeevan, and he climbed very high, and I had never climbed a tree in my life. So I went on climbing after him. I didn't have any problem in climbing. The problem came later. He started walking on a horizontal branch, and that was the end of it. I said, I cannot walk like this. I'll be here. Then he said, okay, then you go down. And then I realized how to go down. That was very difficult. Climbing up was easy. So somehow with difficulty and virtually I had to take the name of God and I came down. So that was my first day. And then I liked the boarding. I liked the atmosphere, everything. My parents came from Mahabaleshwar. They asked, are you Okay, I said, I'm very fine. Don't worry. You go back to Mumbai. And that is how I settled down in Sanjeevan very quickly. The first thing I remember is the monsoons came, fantastic showers. But okay, that was not a surprise because I have seen Mumbai showers. But we started seeing the fireflies. Beautiful. The whole ground below the dormitories was covered with fireflies, and it was such a beautiful sight to watch. And imagine all we guys, we were so insensitive to animal lovers and whatnot. We collected bottles. So jam ka bottle hai wo khol ke we used to put the fireflies in the bottle, close the bottle, and keep them in the room, thinking that tomorrow we will see whether they still shine, whether they still give the light. And we were very insensitive at that time. Every firefly in the bottle used to die in the next morning. And that slowly we learned that they are not supposed to be caught. We have to allow them to remain free. And we enjoyed the scene of fireflies very much. All teachers, we started liking all the teachers. I met Kusumtai teacher, and immediately I felt that she is like a mother, and the way she talked and the way she dressed. And my mother also wore a 9-yard sari. Kusumtai teacher also wore a 9-yard sari, so there was an immediate connect. And I liked Sharat sir. Sharat sir was a great personality, very nice to talk to, a very nice smile, and a very genuine person. When he was talking to my father, we all felt, my father also felt, that he's a very genuine person and he can take care of all the children as if they are his children, like a father. So this is something I remember, the first impression of Sharat sir. And right for all the 5 years, he was like my local guardian and he was like father to me. And I always respected him. He is a great man. Among the things which I remember, they had told us to bring 6 sets of kurta pajama and 6 sets of banyans and underwears and khaki pants, six or eight white shirts and gray pants, two gray pants. That was the things to be brought. And it was a nice feeling to wear white kurta, pajama, and a sweater in that 30 of Sanjeevan, especially during monsoon. When you walk in kurta, pajama, and the sweater, you felt nice. But you felt very bad when you had to walk in gumboots. Gumboots were terrible, and especially after the rain, when you come back to the dormitory, usually some water has gone inside. Then you have to make it ulta and remove all the water and hope that it will dry the next day. That was bad. Gumboots were always terrible, and sometimes we used to find frogs in the gumboot. ऐसा उल्टा करेंगे तो भी छोटा सा बेडूक उसमें से जंप करता था. But so we had to be very careful before putting the foot in the gumboots. Then the gray pant also, you used to feel like a hero or something. I don't know. You used to feel like a rich man. I was in 7th standard, but I used to feel like a grown-up man when I wore gray pants, white shirt, and blazer, Sanjeevan blazer. That was something really like a luxurious feeling you got. Never before in life. Then what was khatarnak? The terrible thing in Sanjeevan were the toilets. You had to go down all the way, and there, right next to the jungle and next to the toilet, there was a deep slope with all the bushes and jungle trees and all. So one never knew if something will climb up and something will attack you from that side. And there used to be a very dim light there. And if you have to go at night to the toilet, invariably people woke up somebody else. अरे यार मेरे को जाना है तू मेरे साथ आ जाना. So the guys had to accompany, and usually nobody said no because apna bhi time aayega. So they knew that, and it was fun. Toilets were terrible, if I have to say something, but we still remember Sanjeevan. We still love Sanjeevan. We have very nice memories of Sanjeevan, in spite of having such small inconveniences. Nowadays, toilets have become the big thing. The parents see the toilet first before sending their child to the boarding school. So it's a totally change in picture. At our time, if we had complained to our parents that toilet kharab hai, they would have said, toilet jana hai ya school jana hai. So this is a total change in viewpoint. The torrential rains in Sanjeevan, that is something that used to amaze me. Mumbai rains used to stop sometime. But rain in Sanjeevan, I remember sometimes for 1 week, we would not see the sun. Raining during day, raining during night, and we had tin roof, so the tin roof making noise all the time, and we learned to sleep with the noise of the tin roof. And if I saw the sun on one Sunday, probably we would see the sun again on next Sunday, and we used to remember कि अभी ये हफ्ते में सूरज का दर्शन ही नहीं हुआ है. So those kind of rains, and in that rain, we after finishing study table we had to go walking to the assembly hall with raincoat and everything, and then we had to go for the prayer. The prayer used to take place in the assembly hall, and one gentleman I remember very much in my mind, Madhav Barve. I'll show you his photo later. He used to stand there. He was a school prefect, so he used to recite the prayer where uh, Rabindranath Tagore's prayer, and we used to repeat after him. After finishing the prayer, then immediately we had to go down to the dining hall. Umesh, आठवते ना सगळं? Umesh, we had to go to the dining hall for dinner. Oh, we used to be so hungry, so hungry. And in fact, in Sanjeevan, the problem was the evening hunger. Every time after finishing the evening bath, before the study table and during the study table, hunger used to kill. And there were some ways people used to find Guruvarcha Purya. We used to put in the pocket and then keep it under the bed. Can you imagine the puris were kept under the bed? Sometimes if you are hungry, you have to just pick up, lift somebody's bed. And if you are lucky, you could find 4 or 6 puris there. And then you just eat them. Don't worry about the guy. That was a thing. और अपना पूरी भी कभी कभी चला जाता था. So you know, it's fit on fat. Now, the smell of mutton, when you're going to the dining hall, that Rambhav used to cook mutton. Same guy who used to run the dispensary, I think Malkar, he used to also cook the mutton in the adjoining kitchen. And that smell of the mutton was fantastic. I was not eating non-veg at that time, but that smell used to be in the whole area. And that memory is very fresh in my mind. And the English medium, how I went to English medium in Sanjeevan. Initially, I was in Marathi medium. And in the first 3 exams, 2 exams, monthly exams, I got, the marks used to be out of 30. So I got 29 in one exam and 29 and a half in another exam. So Shashita teacher saw that this guy is good in English, and she spotted 3 persons: Narayan Patwardhan, who was also a government scholar, and Jyoti Malvi, the third person. And she decided that they should go to English medium so that in future it will be helpful for them. We didn't know anything about it. My father, Sharad sir, corresponded with my father by letter, and my father giving permission to put me in English medium school. I didn't know anything about it. After the first term, when we came to the school in the second term, on the first day when we were in the class, Shishita teacher came and she called out 3 names. So we were scared. Kya ho gaya? Deepak Phadnis, Narayan Patwardhan, Jyoti Malvi, please come out of the class. Follow me. So follow me means she took us to the B medium class, English medium class, and she told us, and she told that sir, Chandramouli sir was there. Now onwards they will sit in the English medium. So that was a big shock to us, and we started getting scared. Ye kaise chalega? Because earlier there was, I remember in the first term, there was a picnic on the hill opposite our Sanjeevan mountain. So on that hill we went for picnic, going all the way down the valley and again climbing up just opposite Sanjeevan. And there the English medium guys had some very nice songs. This old man, he said, he and all those songs. And we used to be Marathi medium guys. We used to think, "Arey, kya solid log hai, अंग्रेजी में गाने गाते हैं." So I was scared कि इनके साथ तो अपना तो बिल्कुल जमेगा नहीं. It is going to be very difficult. Next day, in fact, Narayan Patwardhan went back to Marathi medium class, and he didn't want to sit in English medium. And Shashita teacher came to know about it, so she again came to the class and picked up Narayan and virtually physically put him back into English medium. He was crying. He said, without our permission, how they can do this, how they can send us to English medium. But slowly he also got accustomed to it. And then I also got accustomed to English medium. And I'm happy to tell you that during the 5 years in Sanjeevan, even the first monthly test in English medium, I happened to be the first in class. And all the 5 years with all the monthly tests and all the quarterly annual say terminal exams and final exams, I used to be the first in the school. And Narayan Patwardhan used to compete very fiercely, and every time we used to compare and used to get, poor fellow used to get a few marks less than me. So this is the situation. I couldn't help it and he couldn't help it, but I was very happy that I was uh, treated as a scholar, recognized as a scholar, and I in fact got the opportunity to be nominated as school prefect when I was in the 10th standard. That is another story. They called me into the bungalow during study table time. So again, as usual, I was scared. कुछ कहीं तो पकड़ा गया किसी में तो. But when I went there, that was 9th standard summer before the 9th standard annual exam. So I was quite small at that time. 10th standard was still ahead of us, and they told me that I will have to be the school prefect next year when I am in 10th. I said, this is not possible. How can I be a school prefect? I am so small and I am only going to be in 10th standard. All the school prefects used to be in 11th standard. So that was the practice. So I thought that is the rule. How can you make somebody who's in 10th standard a school prefect? Then I said, but people will not listen to me. How can I be the school prefect? No. I said, no. Then Sharad sir explained something to me. Shashita teacher also explained to me. Sharad Thai teacher also. They were all there. Sharad sir told me, we are in a civilized world. Do you know the meaning of civilized world? We live by the law, and we are not in a jungle. We are not in a world where the prawn rules. There is a difference between the rule of the brain and the rule of the prawn. It is not a muscles rule. So you have intelligence, you know what is right, you know what is wrong, you are an ideal, you know how to be an ideal student. We want to present an ideal student as a school prefect. We don't want toughies and gundas as school prefects. Before us, only toughies used to become the school prefects because he has to be tough. कोई मस्ती करेगा तो उसको मारने का. So that is how the school prefect concept was there. People used to be scared of school prefects. But so I was having no choice, and I became the school prefect from 10th standard. I was also the prefect in 11th standard. But one important lesson Sharad sir told me, which I still remember today, and that is what made me bold and made me courageous. And I never feared anybody just because he's a tough guy. In fact, later on in IIT, there was an incident which I must tell. In our hostel, there used to be a lot of heat in Delhi in summer, and we had to live with the fans. If there is no fan, you can't live because your room is like a oven, like an oven, and it is radiating heat. And if you don't have fan, you will be sweating like a tandoori, getting tandoori roti. And one day in the summer, my room fan stopped. I was in the room and suddenly the fan stopped. It was at evening 7:30, bath time. People who generally go for bath in the hostel, IIT hostels. And I realized that somebody has removed my fuse because there was a fuse box. And suddenly, if somebody's fuse goes, then his fan will stop. Then what he will do? He will not wait for complaining and asking somebody to bring a fuse and repair. He will go to the fuse box. He will remove somebody else's fuse, put it in his fuse, and restart his fan and quickly run away back to his room. So the other guy will be in trouble. So it was like a Sangeet Khurchi. And I immediately rushed to the fuse box and I found a guy 6 feet 3 inches, like a real Pailwan, 120 kg weight, and he used to eat egg burji of 6 or 8 eggs as a special meal. Yeah, he was a trainer. I mean, he was a bodybuilder. So he had removed my fuse and he was putting it, he had already put it in his box and he was closing the box. So I told Mirani, his name was Mirani. I told, hey Mirani, मेरा फ्यूज क्यों निकाला तूने? मेरा पंखा बंद हो गया, मेरा वापस लगा दे. So this guy was surprised. ये ऐसा एक दीपक छोटा सा फर्स्ट ईयर वाला लौंडा और वो है फिफ्थ ईयर वाला आदमी. Fifth year is too high, you know. And he was surprised that I am challenging him. And but quietly he put my fuse back. If I was a scared guy, I would have never dared to tell Mirani कि भाई मेरा fuse तू मत चोरी कर करके. And so this is how Sharad sir told us to be bold. This is how in life I became bold. My father also played a very good role in making me bold. Once we were catching a train from Bhusawal to come back to Mumbai, and there was a problem in getting into the train, and there was a tough guy. In those days, there was no reservation style. We had to go unreserved and put the things through the window, put your trunk through the window, and somehow get in into the train. That is the way we used to travel. And there was a tough man, probably a Sardar, who was trying to do Gundagiri, and he was trying to threaten my father. But my father didn't get worried, and he was never afraid, and he handled that man so nicely. Later on, that man apologized. So that was another lesson, that you should never be afraid of anybody just because he's got a muscular body. So that was something I learned in Sanjeevan. Now, coming to the English medium, so they put me in English medium and they gave me special tuition. Jyoti Malvi, Narayan Patwardhan, and myself used to go to the bungalow every evening in the study table time. And Shashita teacher used to teach us English today, read out all the grammar books, and she took complete care that we will not lag behind in studies just because we have been pushed into English medium. That was something which is very nice on her part. Then the next memory I have is about a punishment, Khaskuili. Khaskuili is something that everybody knows, and some mischievous characters. One of them was probably a boarder and two day scholars. These guys, they brought Khaskuili early in the morning and they put on the all the girls' benches in ninth standard. And the trouble is, all the girls, when they came and sat, the school started, they were highly uncomfortable. And when the teacher came to know about it, the teachers were also totally annoyed. The news spread in the whole school, and they investigated and they found those three guys. And those three guys were thrashed. For 3 days they were beaten, and they had the lesson in their life that they would never do such a thing again. That was one memory, is something which is permanently registered in my mind, that for a serious crime, there is a serious punishment. Everybody was seeing that these three guys were standing for 3 days near the bell, and they were being beaten thrice a day or 4 times a day. In our school, at our time, there were two foreign teachers. One was Mr. Robert Pomfret. Pomfret is like Poplet. Poplet is Pomfret. And we used to call him Poplet. And he was a young man, almost 16-year-old, and he came from UK under an exchange program probably run by a British Council. For 1 year, he was there to teach us. And this guy used to teach us English. And we used to learn all the British pronunciations. And it was interesting. But Pomfret was like a typical British man. It seems he didn't take a bath more than once a week, and he never brushed his teeth, is what people said. But his teeth was yellow, like many Europeans and Americans. You see that they don't have teeth like Indians. Their race has probably yellowish teeth. Indians are with very nice white teeth. So it could be because of that, but there was a rumor among the students that he never brushes his teeth. That was Pomfret, sir. And then when I was in ninth, we got another foreigner. That was Robert Rook. He came from American Peace Corps. Umesh, Robert Rook आठवतो का? So Sushil, Robert Rook, you remember Robert Rook?
हा, दोघे जण आठवतात ना.
दोघे जण आठवतात.
रॉबर्ट रूक पहिल्या दिवशी आला तेव्हा मराठी बोलत होता.
Oh yeah. He made it a point before coming from US to learn a few words in Marathi, and he had a book on Marathi. The guy was studious, so he was able to talk Marathi and used to take pleasure in speaking Marathi. Robert Rook was a very nice guy. He also taught us, I think he taught us maths, and he had given me one nice, beautiful book to read, which I never read. He used to ask me, "Patslak, have you read it?" I said, "No, I just started," but I could never read it because it was too thick, and it was an English book. Till then, I was never accustomed to reading English books. I was only Marathi books. Then after Robert Rook, I have a nice memory of Sanjeevan, Manoj Kumar's brother, Raju Goswami. Manoj Kumar's brother was in our school, and Manoj Kumar used to come and in his Fiat car, and he used to be parked at near the dormitories, and he used to sit in the car, and Raju Goswami was standing next to him, and they used to talk. And after that, Manoj Kumar used to go back to Mumbai. I have seen Manoj Kumar like that many times, and that is something of a very good memory. Then another film actor, not film actor, but politician. Dayanand Bandodkar's son, Siddharth Bandodkar, was in my class, and we had gone to Goa on a trip, and that trip was very beautiful. Dayanand Bandodkar, he gave us coconuts with his own hands. He was standing there, his daughter Shashikala was standing next to him. She used to give him a coconut, and he was chopping them with that knife and used to open the coconut and give it to every boy who was on the trip. Such a humble man, such a simple man he was. He made a very good impression, and I will now like to continue with my life journey. Stories of Sanjeevan. I'm making it stories of Sanjeevan, my memories of Sanjeevan, and later on I'm going to show you a PowerPoint. I hope you will bear with me. So one of the things I remember is there was a handwriting competition, and I had got the first prize, a book I had got as a prize for handwriting competition. Then the dramatics were something new. First time I was introduced in life to dramatics, and annual dramatics means in every class there used to be some practice or other. कोई class में dance practice चल रहा है, कोई class में हिंदी drama, कोई class में English drama, हमारा मराठी drama, कोई गुजराती drama. Every class was occupied with practice, and dramas we used to enjoy. And when you have to perform on the stage, my God, we used to get so much tension. We could not understand why such tension is coming just to go on stage. But that was the time when stage fright was removed, and that was gone forever. And the makeup for the drama, it used to be very interesting. We had to go in the makeup room, boys and girls all in the same room, and first they will put like an assembly line, 3 or 4 guys were sitting one after another. पहला आदमी तुमको वैसलीन लगाएगा, that is a foundation. Next man will put powder, pura face pe powder, and then he'll wipe it a little bit, then he'll go next. The third man will make eyebrows. I used to be surprised, and after that you have to go to the fourth man. The fourth man used to put lipstick. हम बच्चों को, लड़कों को लिपस्टिक लगाता था. We used to feel so shy. अरे लिपस्टिक क्या जरूरत है? बोलते हैं, no, when you go on the stage with all those bright lights, you need lipstick. So we used to be with lipstick. And after finishing the drama, we used to come and sit in the assembly hall with the other boys and girls. We used to be terribly embarrassed because of the मेकअप धोने के लिए भी कुछ जगह नहीं था. You had to go and sit with the makeup. My dear friend Sushil Samvatsar, he was dressed like a limbu, and the same like limbu, he has to go and sit in the audience. So they used to keep looking at us. आधा टाइम ड्रामा पे देखेगा, आधा टाइम हमको देखेगा, जैसा मेकअप किया हुआ आदमी. So that was something of a fun in Sanjeevan. Now the movies in Assembly Hall, they used to screen movies in Assembly Hall, and almost every Saturday or at least 2-3 Saturdays in a week, रात को खाना खाने के बाद Assembly Hall. Sometimes the movies used to be good. If there is a Bombay shot in the movie, everybody from Bombay used to say, "Arey ye Mumbai, arey ye Dadar hai, ye Marine Drive hai." So we used to be thrilled because we are so far away from Mumbai. We immediately connected. Mumbai देखेगा तो अपना दिल उधर है करके. And आए दिल है मुश्किल जीना यहाँ जरा हट के जरा बच के. That song I remember I have seen in Sanjeevan. Then sometimes the movies used to be terrible. I think they used to show us movies of Batman and Nosferatu and all those terror movies. I don't know why, because probably they thought that boys have to become bold also, so they should understand all these things also, that this is all fiction. So maybe it was a very noble intention from the Sanjeevan management, but I used to be totally scared. And when such movies were there was no choice that you'll go and sleep in the dormitory. You had to go to the assembly hall. So fine. And then we would sleep. I used to sleep there till the movie is over. बीच बीच में नींद खुलती थी, कुछ आवाज जोर से आएगा तभी. And I used to be totally scared. Then again I would sleep. After the movie is over, I used to get up and go to the dormitory. That is my memory of the Nosferatu kind of movies. Science fair. Science fair used to have science fair. Everybody has to prepare some exhibit, some scientific experiment, and then put it in the new school. Used to have several benches, and all the students visited the science fair. Probably the parents also were invited from Panjgani town, and they used to visit the science fair. Mandlik sir used to take the entire responsibility. And for one fair we were preparing, and he had a box full of all useless old junk, or two boxes. So he said that one day we have to empty all these boxes. So Narayan Patwardhan, myself, and some other people, we emptied those boxes on floor, and we started deciding what is to be thrown and what is to be kept. So there were parts of a small copper steam engine, and they started throwing them away. And I was observing. We got the D chamber, we got the valves, we got the other thing, the crankshaft. We saw all the parts, and then I told Mandlik sir, why are we throwing this? Don't throw it. We can make a steam engine for the science fair. Then he said, no, but I don't think we'll be able to make it because this is very old. So I said, you keep the parts aside, and I will try. So he gave me a chance to try, and I assembled it all together because we had learned about the D valve and everything in the science. I assembled it, and it came almost to the point of working. There was only one link missing, and I showed it to Manglish sir. Then he said, "Okay, we'll make that link." So कुछ wire लेके temporary link बनाया, and we started. We made steam, and we put it on that, and the steam engine actually started working. And we made it as an exhibit in the science fair, and it was a super hit. And the best part of it is, after 50 years after the school, I went to see Mandlik sir in university in his daughter's house. And when he saw me, he said, Deepak Phadnis, you are the guy who had made that steam engine. Do you remember? He thought I might have forgotten. I said, no, no, I didn't forget. I also remember. But he also remembered. The first thing he told was about the steam engine. That was a nice memory. Then Binaka Geet Mala. We used to be crazy for Binaka Geet Mala. On Wednesdays, we had to finish quickly, come up and listen to all the songs, all Paidan, and we used to discuss. ये गाना first Paidan पे आना चाहिए था. We have done some partiality. They have put it on second Paidan. That is not correct. There used to be heated discussions and arguments whether the Paidan is correct or not correct. And everybody used to sing every line of the songs along with the radio. And sometimes if the radio connectivity was lost, we used to feel कि अपना कुछ वो life में कुछ चला गया है. And when the connectivity used to come back, then we used to be absolutely delighted. That was the time of Binaka. Then construction of the prayer ground. We had no prayer ground in 1963, probably not even in 1964. Sushil may remember, but it was around 64 or 65 that the prayer ground was constructed, and the stage was being made. And when we were called there, and we were being shown, and somebody was giving instruction to chop that tree. So we, along with Shashitai teacher, Saratai teacher, we immediately got sympathy for the tree, and we said, पेड़ नहीं काटने का, क्यों काटने का, अच्छा दिखता है. Then they said, ये stage पे काय drama करना, dance करना, and this tree will obstruct everybody, so you should cut the tree. But somehow our sympathies worked, and Shashitai teacher, Saratai teacher, they took the decision not to chop the tree. So that tree was looking very beautiful among that on the prayer ground, and that really added to the atmosphere. I remember we had so many nice readings. People used to read, sirs used to read Chandramauri sir, Kanaran sir. They used to bring some book, and they used to read of something from that book. The best memory of prayer ground is Pula Deshpande. P.L. Deshpande had come to stay in our school, and what he had said is that he was totally fed up of Mumbai and too many calls, people calling him, people seeking him for meetings and speeches and dramas. So he wanted to run away from Mumbai. So he came and hiding, and he was hiding in the bungalow for 3 4 days. That was the news. And then Sharat sir told him to address the students on the prayer ground. So one evening we had the opportunity of listening to P.L. Deshpande. And after that, the next day I went to the bungalow with a notebook, and then I said I want signature. So they were very happy. The Pula was sitting inside. So Sharat sir told Pula, अया तुमचा कोणतरी चाहता आलाय, त्याला तुमची स्वाक्षरी हवी आहे. So then Pulo came and then he gave me the signature and he gave me some updesh, which I don't remember now, but he was quite happy that I went there for signature. I don't think anybody else went to get his signature there because that was not a style. Somebody had just given me the idea that I went to take his signature. That was a nice memory. Then खाने के बारे में people sometimes if their parents visited them then they used to get a डब्बा कुछ ना कुछ उसमें रहेगा किसी का मोनाको बिस्किट रहेगा किसी का चॉकलेट्स रहेगा a nice box of chocolates and all so those guys used to share in the dormitory with their friends imagine dormitory of 24 people but if I have only 5 friends then I will share only with 5 friends sixth friend no because everything will be finished if you share with everybody but that was recognized then somebody if sometimes somebody had a huge amount of thing and we used to eat so they used to say Are khao khao company no mal che khao so company no mal che how that word came because most of the guys were from business community and they used to have a company and if something is on company account then it is company no mal che you don't feel the pinch when you are eating something from your company account so are khao khao company no mal che that is how the sentence was there. I learned Gujarati in Sanjeewan very quickly. Within 6 months, I was able to communicate in Gujarati. I was even able to read and write. I read some Gujarati books also in Sanjeewan. That was a good thing for my own personal development. The sports, after playing the sports, when you used to come full rain, you have to play sports on. Then we used to come back to the dormitory, and having a bath was again a headache because having a bath was a headache because there used to be at least 4 buckets in front of every bathroom. So you have to say after you to the fifth man, and every bathroom was occupied. So what we used to do, stand under the big shower of water falling from the tin roof दो रूफ के बीच में कॉर्नर बनता है वो कॉर्नर से नीचे used to get big shower from the torrential rain so have a bath under the torrential rain and then change into a warm dress wear a sweater and used to feel very warm and very nice after that bath I think many of you must have had that bath and after that we used to feel very hungry फिर खाने के लिए बहुत प्रॉब्लम होता था क्या खाऊं कहाँ से खाऊं that was a problem and in tableland, I remember the sports in tableland, football or hockey. When you play on tableland, the rains used to hit your knuckles and your feet like somebody is throwing sharp sand shower on it, sand blasting, like sand blasting. And it was very torturous. I remember my knuckles used to become green also with the breeze, the big breeze and the rain and I used to keep praying abhi kabhi niche utrenge and the moment you start climbing down the steps of tableland you used to feel warm and that was a big change after the sports in rain that is another memory I have then the mangoes raw mangoes we used to eat raw mangoes raw limbu raw peru and avlas these were favorite thing जब भी चांस मिलेगा इसको गिराने का और खाने का वो और उसके बाद उसको नमक चाहिए तो डाइनिंग हॉल से नमक लेके आते थे और जब भी चांस मिलेगा छुरी people used to need a छुरी some people used to have a knife so borrow the knife from him sometimes he used to cut the avdas into small pieces put it in a glass bottle along with salt and eat that that was big that was a nice dish Shamajivi Din. I remember Shamajivi Din in Sanjeevan because everybody was given a different role and then people used to be wondering मेरे को क्या role मिलेगा. The luckiest guys were those who were in the dining or in the kitchen. Why lucky? Because there the girls used to be there and they had a chance to mingle along with the girls and sabji kato ye karo. Whatever the girls told them, they used to do that work. My job was every time the bellman who the guru or somebody used to be the bellman. I used to get the job of hitting the bell. So every 2 hours, 1 hour, I had to go near the dining hall and hit the bells. But that was something which was the dream of almost every Sanjeevan boy. So guys, even from third standard, fourth standard, fifth standard, they used to be there standing at the bell and just keep watching me. And they used to request me, "Mala ekda vajo dena. Please give me one chance." So that was something of that was a job I really enjoyed. Probably I did it for 5 years. Then movie in Tambu Talkies. We used to go to Tambu Talkies to see movies. It is in the town, and that was a very interesting memory. I don't remember which movies we saw there. Then the pocket money. We used to get 1 rupee pocket money. We had to walk to the town in line, formation, double line. And there we go to Pasgani stores and there we used to buy something. 1 rupee mein, I used to buy either Cadbury plus cigarettes. You remember there was a pack of cigarettes. उसमें 10 cigarette आता था. It is a sweet peppermint along with a red tip. So you come back with a cigarette in your mouth, and then the whole day you keep eating those cigarette toffees, and the packet was over in 1 day. And the Cadbury also was finishing by the evening. Next day you are again waiting for the next month. जब भी फिर से pocket money होएगा तभी के लिए. Then the hobbies I enjoyed in Sanjeevan: clay work, cane work, bird watching, then stargazing, and we used to really predict the time in the clock by watching the star formations at night, and we were quite accurate. Within plus or minus 15 minutes, we were able to predict the time. That was a achievement of stargazing because they used to teach us how the formations change in the sky along with the time, in which direction the nakshatras move, and all that. बुक क्रिकेट. आई डोंट रिमेम्बर, आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू रिमेम्बर, स्टडी टाइम में बोर होते थे जिसको होमवर्क नहीं करने का, वो बुक क्रिकेट खेलता था. आई हैड माय नेबर्स, माय फ्रेंड यूज्ड टू बी ऑलवेज फैंस ऑफ बुक क्रिकेट. राजन जोशी, एक राजन गुप्ते, आई कैन इवन टेल यू द नेम्स. सो they used to say, अरे तुझं होमवर्क झालं की मला सांग. then he used to open a book and left hand side में जो आएगा, so first you make your team, then start playing. 2 आ गया तो 2D, 4 आ गया तो 4D, 4 बाउंड्री, 6 आ गया तो you have a sixer, 0 आ गया तो player out. And that is how we used to play the book cricket for hours together. We enjoyed it. So study table, if it was becoming boring, then you have to sit in the book cricket. That was a nice memory. Then the small classrooms I really enjoyed, loved that small classroom. For every standard there is a separate classroom, and the sun's rays, in the morning we find the sun's rays are coming from one side, and we could even see the rays and the dust. From the dust you see the rays of the sun and just fall on one thing. एक एक क्लास खत्म होने के बाद वो शैडो ये बेंच से वो बेंच पे जाता था, नेक्स्ट क्लास वो शैडो और पीछे का बेंच पे जाता था, and by evening the shadows used to be virtually almost on the last bench, so we could observe the movement of the sun and the rays. So I used to enjoy those classes very much, with the windows on both sides. Beautiful. Then trip to Goa, as I told you, we enjoyed the hospitality of Siddharth Bandodkar. There is a nice memory of Siddharth. His dad, Dayanand Bandodkar, used to call him Babu, and Babu, that is Babu in their language, almost Babu. So as soon as we got down from the bus in his bungalow, I think that was near Dona Paula, he rushed in like as if something, he has to do something quickly. He got the keys of his black car, a big long black car. He got into the car, he started the ignition, and he started moving the car in front in a jiffy. Before we could even get down from the buses, his car was moving. And Dayanand Bandodkar came running because he didn't have any confidence in this guy driving. So he came running and he stopped him. Babu, 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 row, row. And then he made him stop the car, and he took the keys back from him and told Siddharth to Abhi Bharaya, be with all your people in the trip. Siddharth used to ask me questions in maths. Kaisa ye kaise solve karne ka, wo kaise. Homework, he always used to come to me. Unfortunately, he's no more. He had a very early tragic death. But he was a very good boy, very humble, and he did not do any dadagiri. He never showed his weight. His father was the chief minister of Goa for so many years and a very popular man, but he never talked about it. Bath used to be sometimes a torture because the queue, people used to break queue. Some gundas, especially if you are in 7th standard, 9th standard, 10th standard, they were allowed to break the queue and go into the bathroom. तुमको पीछे ढकल के दादागिरी करके they will go. So we used to have a difficult time when we were in 7th, 8th and 9th. And then finally we started learning कि अभी हमको कोई पीछे नहीं करेगा. And it was frustrating. Then even in the bumper, that big bumper, उसका पानी गर्म पानी छोड़ने के लिए there is to be buckets. 10-12 बकेट का लाइन, तुम्हारा नंबर कभी आएगा वो मालूम नहीं. उसके बाजू में हेयर कटिंग वाला बैठता था. So sometimes teachers used to say तेरा बाल बढ़ गया अभी तू जा बैठ उधर. So we had to sit there. उधर भी क्यों लगाने का, after you बोलने का, किसी के पीछे बैठने का, उसके बाद वो नाखून काटेगा, नाखून काट के लेने का, then go for the bath. So it was a big ceremony. Bath was a big ceremony in Sanjeevan. Thankful that it was only 3 days and Sunday, 4 days in a week, not every day. It used to take 1.5 hours sometimes, the bath ceremony. It used to take at least 1.5, sometimes 2 hours. And exam in Y, when we were in SSC, we had to go for examination to Y by SP, and we used to cross the bridge on the river. And once on the right hand side, we saw shooting of a film while we were going for the SSC exam. Sulochana, and there was a guy, young boy, Sulochana, and Mother of India or Son of India. Which movie? No, Son of India. It was the shooting for Son of India, and we used to see that for 2-3 days. So that was the exam in Y. I passed the exam from Sanjeevan with first 77% marks, and I stood first in Y district, Y Taluka or Satara district, I don't know. And I got a prize of 25 rupees from the Rotary Club of Y. That was something that that was my first earning in life, you can say, by way of a prize. Now, the last day in Sanjeevan was with heavy heart. We didn't want to leave the school. स्कूल में जब भी थे तभी गाली देते थे, तभी बोलते थे कि खाना अच्छा नहीं है, ये जेल है, ये हमको इधर रहने का नहीं है. कभी in the school then we had to say अभी घर जाने का टाइम 1 महीना दूर है, अभी 15 दिन दूर है, now only 1 week. So we used to count backward, when we have to go home. And on the last day in SSC, when we have to go leave the school forever, I went to the prayer ground along with Narayan Patwardhan. We stayed there almost like meditation, feeling sad कि अभी इसके बाद ये prayer ground कभी दिखने वाला नहीं है, इधर का sunset कभी दिखने वाला नहीं है. So we said a song to the sun, and that is how my stay at Sanjeevan ended. So this is my Sanjeevan story, and if you agree with me, I will proceed with a PowerPoint which tells the life after Sanjeevan. Shall I do that?
Yes, sure.
Sorry. Yes.
Please do it. Please do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will proceed with the PowerPoint, and after that we will have question and answer. Can you see the screen? I hope you can see.
Not yet. Not yet. Now, yes. Now we can.
I mean,
Are you able to see the screen now? Is it better, or I should make it small?
It is
I can see very clear.
not yet. It is coming. Coming, but not
It's
yet.
better.
This is better than the first one.
Yes, it is better than the first one.
Are you seeing the full screen?
Yes. Yes, we can see.
Okay. So this is my first photograph, and this is the photograph of some recent times. So 0 to 70 in no time. Everybody is seeing this. Time vanishes. Boys, time vanishes. 70 years have passed. I feel they have passed so quickly. Now this is my photograph when I was in IIT first year, and I had come to Jalgaon in my vacation, and we took it on a ground at Jalgaon. This is when I was, let us say, in 1976, when my brother got married. So I had just passed from IIT, and I had a job with Hindustan Petroleum. We had gone for his marriage, and my grandfather is sitting in the middle. My mother is on the right corner. My father, my 2 sisters, and my fifth, that is my elder brother. He was in between me and my eldest brother, Satish. That is the first one. He was no more. He had an early tragic death, and his son is very well settled now. We are very happy about the fact that His son is now doing very well. His children are also doing very well. And I'll move to the next photograph. This is when my engagement took place. These are all friends of my wife, and I am happy to say that they are all very good friends of hers even today. And many of those ladies' phone numbers also I have saved in my mobile. So they are very good friends of me also. And this is the photograph when my sister got her daughter. We were in Bandra government colony. I am on the right side. My wife Chama is on the left side. Sister is in the middle. Everybody is seeing this. Shall I move to the next?
Yes, yes.
This is my photograph in
Yes.
1984 when I joined Herdia Chemicals, and this was on my identity card. Some people used to tell me that I look like Sadashiv Amrapurkar. No, yeah, I think so, Sadashiv Amrapurkar. This is a photograph of our family, 1993. We were traveling in Europe by train. This is taken in the train. My daughter was 3 years old at that time. This is a photograph. I used to be on an island called Curacao. So, photograph with my wife and daughter. I learnt tabla in Curacao. There was a man, Mr. Tiwari. The Sindhi community in Curacao had called him from Mumbai. They paid for his stay, they paid for his food, and they used to give him a salary. And he used to take dance classes, sitar classes, harmonium classes, tabla classes. That man was an all-rounder, and I had joined tabla class from Mr. Tiwari. And I used to go for practice. I used to pay in guilders. But that is the place where I learned tabla. It was by encouragement from my wife. She said, if you don't learn tabla now, when are you going to learn? So spend in guilders, but learn. So I went and learned tabla. We had gone to Japan in 1996 when I was coming back from Curacao. At the end of my stay in Curacao, we came via the east. Because while going, I went, this is down south of USA. So while going, I had gone from the western side. Then I got an idea that Prithvi Pradakshina Pura Karna Chahiye. So I decided that while returning from Curacao to India for good, we will come from the eastern side. So from Los Angeles and San Francisco, we went to Japan, and then we returned to India via Japan, Singapore. So I completed a Prithvi Pradakshina in that manner, and I felt very happy. This is a Japanese friend. We had gone for training in 1978. I had gone for training to Japan in 1978 and did training there for 2 months. So Mr. Hiromichi Koda and his wife, they had become very good friends of us. So in 1996, I wrote a letter to him. I had his visiting card. I wrote a letter to him telling him I want to come to Japan with my wife and daughter. So he was so great. He immediately wrote back to me saying, you come and you be my guest. You have to stay in my house, and I'm going to take you to the same company where you got your training. So I was delighted when we went to Japan. We went to that company where I did my training in 78. So it was after so many years, I think 26, 28 years. Can you imagine how the Japanese people respect individuals and the company, their character? The production manager of their company, the works manager of their company, all came. The biggest bosses of the company came into their manager's room, and I was there. My wife and my daughter, we were having tea, and then they told me to tell how the training in 1978 benefited me in my career. So I gave a small speech there, and I told them that it is because of the training I received in Japan, I became a better designer. I designed things perfectly. So this is how they welcomed me. The top man in the organization, he found it a pleasure to talk to me after 28 years. And the best part of it is when we were landing at that station, we got the train stopped and we got out of the train. This man Koda was standing with a board with my name, Mr. Phadnis, I think with all the three names, and welcome. That was the treatment the Japanese gave you. This is California winery in California, the grape farms, and they told us that the grapes are removed from the trees not manually because it is impossible. There are shakers, vibrators on each tree, and the grapes fall. They start the vibrator at early in the morning, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, because the grapes taken at that time really give the best flavor, especially on a moonlit night. And so there they take the vibration, so only the ripe grapes will fall, others will not fall. That was something new I learned there. This is a photograph, a drama, my wife beating me, pretending, and Nacha Sundari Karu Popa Mazavari Dhari Anukampa. My wife and my daughter traveling in train. Oh, no, this was in Houston, 1916 or 2016 or 2017. My daughter Uma, she's now in Canada. We'll see more photographs of her later. My wife and we were in Saputara. So this is the photograph in Saputara. This is my daughter, and she is a good singer. She is almost like a professional singer. She sang for a choir in Houston also. She sang in her one of best friend's wedding in Houston also, and she had her own band when of her own college students in Mumbai, in Pune. Her all college students gathered together and they formed a band collage, and she was the lead singer in that band, and they won a prize in the competition in TVG in college in Pune. They got the first prize. So she's a singer. She likes to sing. This is my daughter, Uma. My mother and me. My mother always loved me, and I love her. She's no more. Now my mother, see how children enjoy. This is the fun, you know, with small things, children can enjoy so much. Here are my two nephews. That is the sons, grandsons of my brother who's no more, Satish. So these two boys, when they were coming, I just made a small purchase. I purchased the gems in long packets, full strip, and we gave them the full strips. Imagine the smile on their face and the joy on their face. They are so delighted with this small gift. It doesn't cost much money to delight a child. I have a similar story in Tarapur when I was working in Tarapur. My friend's daughter was to come, and he had told me that my daughter is coming and she may get bored because she is alone and there is nobody to play with her. So I took that hint, and all I did was to keep her engaged. I bought balloons. In 1 rupee, I think I got 50 balloons in 1983. I blew up, my wife and I, we blew up all the balloons, tied them up, and we filled the whole room with balloons. And when his daughter came, she started playing with them the whole day, and she didn't get bored even for 1 minute. So this is the way you can delight children. And I really loved those moments to see the joy on their faces. Again, a photo with my mother, recent photograph. This was taken by the caretaker lady who used to be with us for 24 hours, and she sent it for a competition on Facebook, and she won the first prize. She's very happy that her photograph won the first prize. We were on a cruise, Caribbean cruise, when I was in Curaçao. So there was a man on the ship who used to do a lot of pranks and have fun with us. And this is a paper knife which he's showing, and they take photographs, and then they put all the photographs on a wall in the ship. So when you go back into the ship after you're moving around on an island, you see your photo on the wall, and then whichever photos you want, you select, you pay $1 for each photo, and those photos are yours. So I must have paid $1 for this photo. Now we'll come into a little bit of photos of Sanjeewan, your favorite Bhagyadevi teacher, Kusumtai teacher, and Helen teacher. I think this is one rare photograph. And Helen teacher, you can see how beautiful she looked at that time. She had just come into the school probably around 1965. So for those who joined recently, they may not know how she looked at that time. Here are our school champions: Nandu Dekne, Jagdish Dekne, Sucheta Pradhan, Satish Joshi, Asha Devdar. I think this is Asha Devdar having a breakfast in Deep Bangla Chowk. Here is Satish Bapat, a government scholar, 2 years senior to me. Unfortunately, he is no more. And Madhav Barve, the guy used to be the school prefect and used to sing the prayers. Very towering personality in my mind in the school memories. I met him after so many years in Pune. We were sitting in a hotel, Swaroop, Prabhat Road, and this photo, which is a good memory of the past. These are my IIT friends. So we meet and we go out for dinner sometimes. So I am here, Shama is here. These are all the other guys, and we have a nice time. We had a reunion, just like our reunion. We had a reunion of 50 years in Goa. So we all went to Goa, stayed there for 3 days in a five-star hotel and had a luxurious food and entertainment programs. So this is something which the past students can do on their own. We don't have to involve the school. We just arrange a stay at some place and go and park there for 2 3 days. If somebody takes an initiative, maybe we can also do that for the centenary. But we had a good time, and I took some yoga classes for our batchmates. This is a picture of something unique I found just in a hotel opposite my house, Punjabi restaurant. They have made such nice statues to give soap and supari. Isn't it very beautiful? This is when I was the president
Yes.
of my Rotary Club. There, the Hawaii theme. I told you that there was a Hawaii theme for the Rotaract Club, the young boys club, and they wanted everybody to come up in the Hawaii dress. So we are in the Hawaii dress, and they took photographs. It was a very fun-filled, enjoyable evening. Here we in Rotary had a Bawarchi Day. We used to have a Bawarchi Day once in a year, and everybody cooks. The male folk cook, and the ladies eat. We give them a VIP treatment. So I made some things, and this is a photograph of that. This is my wife and myself at Houston. This is a friend from Africa. His name is Alex. Alex. He's now a citizen of USA and a doctor. He's a doctor, practicing doctor in a hospital. Very nice person. In fact, he dropped me back to the airport when I returned from Houston. This is my photograph with Shama, my wife, on a lighthouse in Kerala. Near Trichy, there is a lighthouse, and on top of the lighthouse, there was a lady who said, "You pay me 30 rupees or 20 rupees, and I'll take a photo." We never expected she'll take such a nice photograph, and I'm very happy for that photo that she has taken. This is when we were on a trip somewhere in one of our Club Mahindra trips. This is my photo in white kurta pajama. This is a photo with pagdi, feta, not pagdi, feta for a marriage ceremony. This is a photograph I took in Kanyakumari. You can see the setting sun and my wife and all the activity on the beach where the three seas meet. And this photograph I submitted in a competition for our Rotary Club photo competition, and it won the first prize. So I thought I should show you this photograph. This is I was on a trip in Puar, Club Mahindra trip. So a photo taken there. I started my consultancy after retiring from industry. In 2015, I started my consultancy under the name Value Plus Business Consultancy, and I still give advice to some companies. And in addition, when I came back from Curacao, I started an ad agency because that was something in my mind that I must have an ad agency. So I formed my own ad agency. And that Rudra Advertising, I still work on some campaigns along with my brother-in-law Hemant. The Seva Vardhini. Now I will come. I think this meeting will be over in 1 minute. So I hope you will all like to come back. Those who want to come back, I'll continue with the rest and then we will have the question answers. This is Seva Vardhini. I started my social work with Seva Vardhini after my retirement in 2013. We went to villages to do participatory rural appraisal. These are surveys to find out the actual needs, the true needs of the villagers. So this is a 1 week long program. We stay there. We do a mashal ferry. We do a prabhat ferry. We do all with music. We go in the town and we invite all the people to come for the village meeting. And we take participation from all villagers. We have meetings. We make them talk what you need. So हे दवंडी पेटतात त्याच्यासाठी गावात सगळ्यांना बोलवायला. So there's house to house surveys. We go to every house. There is a questionnaire of 150 questions. We ask them to give replies. We sit in houses. Sometimes the Konkan house, Kunkavan village in Konkan. So people sit like this to answer the surveys. There's no problem because it is already very hot. They are not accustomed to wearing shirt all the time. Value Plus Business and Rudra Advertising. I still enjoy doing campaigns, creative thinking, creative writing. We have done magazine editing for one company's in-house publication. My brother-in-law is an artist, so he publishes the whole magazine and gives it to them. Sometimes it has 40 pages, 45 pages, and it's very nice, creative job. My wife also helps me in that. She has MBA in personal management. So Seva Vardhini, I was telling you about the Mashal ferry, Prabhat ferry, and we go to the whole town. The surveys take place. Here is a man in that place. Here is the, and then I also work as a volunteer for one NGO in Melghat called Sampurna Bamboo Kendra, and they make beautiful things from bamboo. And this is something unique. They make rakhis from bamboo, and that is those are sold in Mumbai and Pune. I helped them in selling these last before Corona. In that year, we sold rakhis worth 2 lakh rupees in Pune. And please remember, 10 rupees has a good value in the jungle of Melghat. If somebody makes 30 rupees, that's a lot of money for them. So for Mumbai Pune, it's not much. For them, 2 lakhs was a big amount, and they make bamboo houses. They make bamboo chair, bamboo furniture, bamboo toilets. They can make bamboo jhopdi, which you can see. We live in the jhopdis when we go to resorts and farmhouses. So they make all these things from bamboo. In fact, there are some bamboo baskets also which I had brought for selling, fruit basket. So this is the thing I like to do. Here is my journey with NGO started after my retirement. I started taking interest because I believe that all the NGOs are not chore. Some people say that all NGOs are chore. पैसा लेता है और भगा के चला जाता है, or they enjoy them for money for their own good. Many people in the society have a very bad image of NGOs. But I have found after going to Seva Vardhini that there are many good NGOs, well-meaning NGOs, and they really help the people. So here is one man. He's really worth Puja. His name is Adit Rao Kadam. He stays in Kashmir, and he has an NGO called Borderless World Foundation (BWF). And what he is doing is all the children of those who have perished in the conflict in Kashmir, he puts them in a hostel and he makes them educated citizens. Some of the girls and boys who have studied in his hostels have become professionals. They are in jobs. He brings them to Mumbai, Pune to join colleges, 4-year courses, graduation courses. They stay in some people's houses. They could be Hindus, they could be Muslims. He says, I make no differentiation. If somebody is affected due to the conflict, whether he is a son of a terrorist or son of a policeman, it doesn't make a difference. He treats them equally, and he has got good money, good finance from many companies like ITC, I think Philips, and he brings peace. He says, I want to bring peace. Conflict is not on. So he helps everybody in that. Very nice man. I met him in Pune. Here, Karachi Mirchi. I like making pickle from mirchi. So once in a while when I finish, I try to buy some mirchi, make some nice designs, cut them and make khara mirchi out of them. When I was in Rotary Club, it is a tradition to give some gift at the end of your 1-year president tenure. So you give some gift. So novelty, I thought some novel gift. So we made a calendar, and on that calendar we posted it was a personalized, individualized calendar for each Rotarian with his wife, and we put his photograph on his own calendar, and we gave gifts to all 55 members of our club. They all liked the gift very much. So I gave a sample. We had some annual gathering of our Rotary Club. So there was a dance for all the couples in Rotary. So 10 couples were to take part in the dance, and every couple was given a song, and you have to. So as a president, I had to open that program with my wife, and the song chosen for me was "Ude Jaba Jaba Zulfe Teri." The dance choreographer, she had chosen that song. So I decided to go and I took a wig and I wore the wig and then I danced. So these are the photos of that. It was a huge success. Everybody was happy that I gave so much justice. Ude Jaba Jaba Zulfe Teri. In lockdown, there was a lot of tension in the air. So one of my brother-in-laws, he thought of a very good idea. He made a competition, cooking competition. So everybody cooked in their houses various dishes and made something. So I made mango smoothie and bhajia. So this is the photograph of the mango smoothie and bhajia. I grew beard in the lockdown. Time pass करने के लिए कुछ तो करना है, daily shaving करने का जरूरत नहीं था, so I did that. Now the Ram Mandir in Cotton Green. This I have very nice memories when I was almost 3 or 4 year old, and for many years we used to go to this temple in Cotton Green. So even now when I go there, I remember these idols. Very beautiful temple. So I put it on the photographs. This is a Vittal Rakmai temple. So now I am coming to the spiritual side, and then that will be the last few slides. So I want to talk about the spiritual pursuit. What I believe, this is on a serious side. What I believe is that we all come on the earth, we enjoy the few years that we get, 70, 80, 90, 100 years people enjoy. And till they, a certain time in their life, they don't know why God has sent them on the earth. But there comes a time in everybody's life that they know the reason why they have taken birth. Some people know it at the age of 20, 30, some people know it after 50, 60. But the reason which I also believe is that you have to rejoin your original status. You have to regain your original status. Your original status is a super conscious status where you are the universe, you are one with the universe, and your body is the universe body, and you are everything. And this is the status which you have to regain. It's a paradise lost, paradise to be regained, and you have been sent to regain the paradise, because birds and animals cannot do it. Only a human being has that much advanced brain that he can try to regain that paradise. So that is why spirituality is very important, and people should pursue spiritual goals by way of either bhakti or jnana marga or whatever they feel. But they should go for such things. Meditation is one key, or there is karma yoga. People do by karma yoga, which is another thing. And these are some beautiful photographs of Vithoba Rakmai. This came in Lok Satta at one time. They were giving baths with various colors. I liked it, so I stored it. This came many years ago, but see how beautiful all these photos are. This is my guru's ashram in Ranchi. Paramos Yogananda, the great guru, a great yogi who went to USA in 1924, and he founded Yoga Self-Realization Fellowship in Los Angeles. In Hollywood, there is the center, Mother Center, they call it. That is the headquarters, international headquarters. I learned meditation techniques from some of this body, Yoga Satsanga Society of India. They have a big establishment in Ranchi. At least 30 Swamijis, those are brahmacharis for 30 years, wearing saffron dresses, just like Ramakrishna Mission. This is a parallel body, and we go there and we take advice from them. This is the annual lighting they do when you go there for a 1 week camp. And I'll come to the Wari. I went to Pandharpur Wari in 2015, and have some nice photographs to show you, because Wari is something which every Marathi or even people who are in Maharashtra, they're very curious about Wari. So I want to give you some of my photographs of Wari. This is the way we had to make our Valkati. It's like a hold on. So you buy a bag, goni bag, and you open it, and then you stitch it back, and then you get a Valkati. You put all your belongings in this, and then it goes in a truck which goes along with your dindi. They carry it all to all the destinations, and they give you for your goods. So you can use this Valkati till the time you reach Pandharpur. This is the starting point from Alandi. Then we go. This is the Wari scene. This is how people walk. This is myself in the Wari dress. You have to carry a shoulder bag so you can put your water bottle and some spare sandals, chappals there. This is all the Wari pictures. It's taking time for the picture to change. And this is the next picture. In Wari, this is the Ube Ringan. Left side picture is Ube Ringan. So Warkaris stand like this, and the two horses. The one horse which is Mauli horse, and the other horse which is ridden, which has the rider on it. Those horses run through this parallel passage. They come back. This is called Ube Ringan, and this is a very beautiful ceremony to watch. This is how the right picture shows how we took lunch in the Wari. This is the Mauli Rath, the chariot in which St. Dhaneshwara's Paduka are carried to Pandharpur. It is pulled by two beautiful bullocks, and in front of the Wari there are those two horses, and lot of things you will read in my book Pandharpur Wari. Walking Pilgrimage to Pandharpur. It is published as an e-book as well as a hard copy. It has been translated in Marathi. I am looking for a publisher to publish it in Marathi. This is the scene in Wari when the people take rest in the afternoon. They wash their clothes. They keep them for drying. After 2-3 hours, when the clothes are dry, they again go walking. There are literally lakhs of people walking on the road. It is like an ocean and very beautiful. This is the horse, Mauli Ashwa. These horses are so beautiful and they are so merciful. They allow people to touch them on the forehead, and everybody touches the horses on forehead as if they are walking gods. Because this is the horse which belongs to Dnyaneshwar Mauli. It has a tremendous respect. This is Gol Ringan in the Wari. You can see in the center there is some activity, and there is a passage. They have kept round passage kept in the center, and about 1 lakh people gather around that. And the event is the horses go in circles, 3 circles. That is called Gol Ringan. The famous one is at Sadashiv Nagar. I think this is the photograph of Sadashiv Nagar, Gol Ringan. This is Chandrabhaga. I went to the sands of Chandrabhaga, the shores of the river Chandrabhaga. How the people flock there on Chaturdashi, Ashadi Ekadashi. We also went there, and the culmination of the Wari is having Kalas Darshan. This is the Kalas. We saw it on the last day, the Ashadi Ekadashi. We took a round, and that is how our Wari ended, and we came back home. This is, I wrote a book after the Wari in English so that the people outside India and even outside Maharashtra should know what is a Wari. And I published that book. I wrote the book when I was in Houston with my daughter, and I published the book as an online publication because it was published as an e-book. So the inauguration of that e-book was done from Houston. There was my wife and my daughter were the audience. This is how I did the publication on a tab. This was the front page of my ebook. If you buy the ebook, you'll still get this front page. It is available on Amazon.com. Now, the most loved God on the earth, Yogeshwar Sri Krishna. I thought I'll show you his photograph. This was in a temple in Pune. I had gone for a kirtan, and I found this statue, a very lovely statue, and I have it. I love this photograph. This is my Adhyatmic Guru, the great yogi Paramahansa Yogananda. He took a samadhi after talking to 3,000 people in a big hall in USA, and he took a samadhi. After that, he told the people, I'm taking a samadhi. After this, for 20 days, I'm going to protect my body. It will not decay. And after that, you can give me a burial of a yogi. Why I am keeping the body for 20 days is to tell the world what powers a yogi has, and God has given him so much power that within 20 days, if he wants, he can come back. A yogi's death is voluntary. He doesn't die a natural death. Only when he decides to give his body back to God, he dies. And in that also, 20 days, he has the option. Any day he can come back into the body and live again for as long as he wishes. After 20 days, then he has to surrender the body to God. He demonstrated this in his death, and all the people in USA were totally surprised that the body did not decay for 20 days. He's such a great guru, and I'm happy and blessed to have learned meditation techniques told by this guru. So we had 100 years celebration of this samstha. He had formed it in 1915. So in 2015, we went to Dihika. That is the place where it started in Bihar. So we went there on a journey, and a lot of people had come there. And beauty of it was one full train was booked for all the devotees from Ranchi. We went by a train. Imagine a full train booked only with devotees of Ranchi, and the train engine had garlands and flowers. Every window had garlands and flowers. We had this trip there in Dihika. This book everybody must have read, Autobiography of a Yogi. It is his life story. And this is the Vithoba Rakhmai and Tukaram Maharaj temple on Ferguson Road. You might have visited this. This is when they give Chandanachi Uti program in every summer, because the god needs to cool down. So they anoint him with Chandan and Kesh Kasturi. So this is that celebration. This is my family Kuladaivat Khandoba in Aurangabad. This is my daughter when she was born. Hospital, daughter, having a party. This is a first birthday party. There's a tent, a toy tent, and she's inside the tent. You can see the beautiful expression on her face. My daughter, and I will stop here, and if we have any questions, we can have question answers. And I must say thank you very much for listening to me, and I will stop sharing the screen. I am finding the mouse. Stop share. Yes. Hi friends. If you have any questions, please ask me.
We really enjoyed your life journey.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
it was really interesting. There's so many stories to tell.
Lot of stories. I made it a little long one, but I wanted to express myself and especially with all the friends. We have no formalities as far as Sanjeevan is concerned. We feel so close to each other, and I thought I must share my feelings. My wife Shama,
Hello.
she had come to Sanjeevan.
Namaskar.
All of you are
नमस्कार मॅडम.
yeah,
थँक यू फॉर कोऑपरेटिंग विथ अस फ्रॉम सो लॉंग. म्हणजे 3 महिने झाले, बहुतेक डिसेंबरच्या आधीपासून तुम्ही ऑर्गनाइज करताय मॅडम. थँक्यू. यू आर प्लेइंग द मेन रोल. सगळ्या गोष्टी रेकॉर्डिंग करताय.
Yeah, her support is very essential. Every Sunday, I am in the common room every Sunday, and that was something fun. So my wife had come to Sanjeevan along with me after marriage, and she's has happy memories.
Yeah. Sanjeevan has really given us very good memories. Like he said, for the first time we went to the school, we went to bungalow, and then Sharad sir was there, Saraltai teacher, Sushitai teacher. Then sir asked me, "Navryचं नाव वाचलं का board वरती?" Then he told him, "Show her around, and then come back here for dinner." We were really tensed, but then we went around. I saw all the school. I loved it. And we met Sunday teacher and Sober sir and one or two other teachers. Then we came back to bungalow for dinner. And on the dinner table, they made us feel so comfortable. Sir kept asking. I was working with Reserve Bank at that time. So sir kept inquiring about which department they were, what type of work is there, and like normal talk. And I always have very warm and happy memories about Sanjeevan. And all of you are very lucky to be the students of that school. That much I can say for sure.
Great.
Yes, that's the same feeling we all have, I think.
Truly a school which we enjoyed, and we grew up there.
Yes.
That's the best part of it is in life. We grew up in Sanjeevan, and thank you. So now I think
Thank
we
you,
will be
Kshama,
having
Deepak.
some any more questions. Kranti,
It's wonderful sharing by both of you.
I know,
Deepak
no
and Kshama.
place
तो
for
प्रश्न
questions.
नाहीये, प्रश्न नाहीये, पण आम्हाला आवडली जर्नी तुमची. फार छान वाटलं ऐकून सगळं.
Yes.
thank you very much.
म्हणजे काही ठिकाणी आम्ही आमचा अनुभव ते आठवलेत, ते तुम्ही जसं प्रत्येक शाळेच्या गोष्टी सांगत गेला.
मी म्हणून ते सगळे लिहून काढले. फास्ट 53 53 आठवणी झाल्या. मी म्हटलं फास्ट 53 जसे फास्ट 50 न्यूज देतात तशा न्यूज दिल्या सगळ्या.
That's what I said ना, the most ideal memoir it was. म्हणजे आम्हाला आधी माहित राहिलं असतं, आपण पण तसं प्रत्येकाचं आपलं केलं, पण अनेकांच्या रिपीट झाल्या असत्या या आठवणी. But good, in the end you summarized it all well.
Very,
म्हणजे
very.
Very
पहिलं
interesting.
सेशन आहे ना सरांचं घ्यायला पाहिजे होतं ना क्रांतीताई.
मग आपल्याला सगळं रेडीमेड मिळालं सगळं त्यांचं.
सगळ्यांचे युनिक झाले ना कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन
हो.
वेगवेगळ्या
हा.
प्रकारचे. Yeah, nice.
Everybody, I loved. Everybody shared his life story, and that was beautiful. And
Deepak, now you have become like Amit Sahani, common room with Deepak Phadnis.
Yes.
yeah.
Continue at least once a month.
Yes.
If not every
Yes, we
week,
should
you
continue.
should
Deepak.
continue it at least
पण
once a month.
ऍटलीस्ट पण या आठवणी बहुतेक आपल्याकडे इतक्या आहेत की बघा अजून तुम्ही तुमच्या या वयात पण मला सगळं आठवत आहे.
सगळं आठवतंय. Yes, yes. They're
On
fresh.
this note, I feel like telling all
सबकॉन्शियस माइंड मध्ये एकदम इम्बाईब झालेल्या आहेत त्या.
Yeah. Fixed forever in mind.
Yes.
ते स्कूलमध्ये तुम्ही असेंब्ली ग्राउंडचं सांगत होता ना, तिथे एक बोगनवेल होतं. म्हणजे तिथे एक बाजूला एक बघा ओटा आहे, तिथे एक बोगनवेल असायचं आणि ते झुल्यासारखं झालं होतं. म्हणजे आमच्या वेळेस ते आम्ही झुला म्हणून वापरायचो स्टडी टाइमला.
I remember that one. Very beautiful. It was फारच सुंदर. Rupen, you don't say anything. Rupen, did you enjoy?
No, I can say, of course, I have enjoyed.
Yes.
And we say it was like Kota Packet and Bada Dhamaka.
Well said.
It was like,
Yeah.
म्हणजे ते 68 ला 1 रुपी पॉकेट मनी होतं आणि आमच्या वेळेस 20 रुपये होतं. म्हणजे 94 त्या
Okay.
आमच्या वेळी 2 रुपये होते.
2 रुपये.
माझ्या वेळी 5.
हा आमच्या वेळेलाही पास होते.
Okay.
अच्छा.
So I don't
पण
know
ते
now how
चॉकलेट
much it
अजूनही
will be.
नाही ते तर चॉकलेट सगळे अजूनही फेवरेटच आहे. अजूनही प्रत्येकाकडे पॉपिन्स किंवा रावलगन किंवा ते तुम्ही सिगरेटचं सांगितलं तर असतंच. म्हणजे कुठे दिसलं की अजून आपण सगळे घेतोच असं.
Yes. Great.
On this note, I want to request all of you to pen down your memories and please send it to the school for the magazine inclusion of the thing. So
Yes.
Deepak has given us a good talk, and all of us can write few memories and please send it because the souvenir needs your input in the magazine.
Yes. Everybody. Everybody should write at least 15-20 lines and send to the school.
Cool, yes.
Yes.
And you can choose your language, Marathi, Hindi, English, whatever you would like to write. And I believe the magazine is going to be published in the end of December, I think. Somewhere in December. So you all have time. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
the centenary year will go on long.
Great. So now we are
Yeah.
looking forward to 2nd July and 3rd July. I am coming to Panjani on 1st July. On 1st July evening, we will have a bonfire in Citadel Hotel. Those who come on 1st, we all can sit together and enjoy Chekutichi Gani, just like the bonfire we used to have before going to Mumbai. And those who come on the 1st, please come to Citadel Hotel. And 2nd, we will be busy with the school program, 2nd and 3rd. So those who have not booked, they can think seriously about coming.
Are you there on the first also? First, second, and third, all 3 days?
First, I am there. First, 2nd, 3rd, I am not staying. 3rd, no. Yes. Okay.
I'll be there for all 3 days. I'll be there for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Sorry, I didn't get it.
I will be there for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Okay, so Devesh is also there on 3rd. And then Ashok is on the 3rd. Ashok Javeri.
Nice.
Good.
I should be meeting all.
And you have to
Yes.
present an entertainment program. Everybody at least एक गाना गाओ तो 90 minutes entertainment program
students.
पूरा हो जाएगा.
Person should bring his violin along with him.
Sorry?
Vasant is writing. Vasant is going to have an acting. Vasant is going to write a skit,
Okay.
an act.
Okay, good. So you already selected who's going to act? Vasanta, have you decided who is going to act in the skit?
I don't know who all are coming. But
Okay.
we can do it in 15 minutes.
Yeah, you start writing. Start writing.
लहान आहे. There is no देर इज नो बोलण्याचं काही नाहीये त्याच्यात.
ओके.
आय थिंक ऑलरेडी
ऑन स्पॉट एंट्रीज पण करतील भरपूर.
क्रांतीला तू
He
त्याच्यामध्ये
already has
बोलते.
conveyed
हा,
नाही माझं म्हणणं आहे
हा,
my script will be at the most 5 or 6 minutes long.
that's okay.
And there will be 4 actors, no dialogue.
Take the whole
Only
young
you people
generation.
people,
Take the whole young generation. Kranti, Swati, Kalpana, या सगळ्यांना
अरे, that will be
And one more
gold.
suggestion, like whosoever is not participating, put them in that assembly line, makeup assembly line. Slightly distracted.
करणे का?
आता आय थिंक ऑलरेडी 15 झाले पार्टिसिपंट अशोक जेवरीकडे.
आणि सुहास नाईक पण गाणार आहे. सुहास नाईक.
And there will be more on spot entries also.
Yeah,
Because
ऍक्च्युली ऑन द स्पॉट खूप एंट्रीज येणार सर, कारण की सगळ्यांचं अगदी शेड्यूल बिझी आहे. तर मी तर 2 तारखेला पोहोचणार एवढं माहिती आहे मला संध्याकाळी.
गुड. स्वाती, तुझं झालं का? हॉटेल बुकिंग केलं का तू?
सर नो वरीज अबाउट हॉटेल्स.
ओके.
ते मॅरेथॉन कॅन्सल झालंय.
मॅरेथॉन कळलं का दीपक?
कॅन्सल.
तुमच्या तुमच्या
कॅन्सल
कॉमन
केलं ना?
हो
ते कॅन्सल केलं मॅरेथॉन सर.
या
हो कॅन्सल केले.
ओके.
there were no entries, only 3 people had registered.
नाही, मॅडमचा फोन आला होता 2 दिवस आधी. तर मी म्हंटल मॅडमला, म्हणजे आय जस्ट आस्क मॅरेथॉन कशासाठी, म्हणजे आता आम्ही ऍज अन ऍथलीट एनी प्लेअर कॅन, म्हणजे वी कॅन डू दॅट इव्हेंट एनी वेदर कंडिशन, बट व्हॉट अबाउट द कॉमन पर्सन, दे मे नॉट टेक एनी रिस्क ऑफ डुईंग वॉकिंग और रनिंग इन टू दॅट.
यू कॅन मेक अस वॉक.
But those who they can enjoy. We enjoy in rain, but they will be less entry, sir.
क्रांती पण पळवेल आम्हाला.
So that is why we are ready to play football also.
वसंता,
There are some games and all ना, सगळ्यांना ते स्ट्रक्चर मिळालंय ना, म्हणजे. आणि there is a registration also, 1000 rupees or something registration आहे.
Yes.
That is for the program.
That was a nice program.
I've already done my registration.
Good.
Yes.
So आमचं पण तिघांचं करायचंय, केलंय वाटतं.
वसंता, तुझं काय म्हणणं आहे?
नाही, माझं म्हणणं होतं की ऑल दिस इयर हे कॉमन रूम वगैरे कधी नव्हतं. तर मी जेव्हाही वेळ मिळायचो ना, जेवणावरती कधीतरी गप्पा मारताना बायकोला संजीवनच्या मेमरीज सांगायचो. आम्ही हे कैरी तोडण्याचं काम, आंघोळीच्या वेळेचा 2 तासाचा सेरेमनी, त्यावेळेला होणारी दादागिरी, कोणाला कमी पाणी मिळतं, कोणाला जास्त मिळतं, मग एकदम खालची जंगलाकडे असणारं टॉयलेट वगैरे वगैरे सगळ्या गोष्टी सांगायचो. आणि खूप वेळेला ती विचार आतल्याच करायचे की त्या खरं सांगतोय. आय मीन इट लुक्स टू, आय मीन व्हेरी हार्ड टू बी रिअल. नाही आहे तसंच आहे म्हटलं, ते रिअल तसंच आहे. म्हणून मी तिला संजीवन मध्ये नेलं. तर त्याला तिथे सिक्युरिटी लावलेली बाहेर, मला माहिती नव्हतं हे. तर सिक्युरिटीवाला म्हणाला नाही आज गणेश चतुर्थी आहे, मॅडम इज बिझी. म्हटलं अहो त्यांना फक्त फोन करा इथनं, वसंत देसाई आलाय म्हणून सांगा. तर तितक्यात त्यावेळेला मला वाटतं कोणी देशपांडे होते प्रिन्सिपल. आय थिंक इट वॉज इन 2003-2004 समथिंग. ते खाली गेले, आम्हाला भेटून गेले. ही सेड हाय, आणि कोण तुम्ही, म्हणजे ओळख. मी म्हटलं तुम्ही मॅडमना एवढंच सांगा वसंत देसाई आलाय. म्हटलं आय माइट जॉईन यू. So he said, I can't disturb her, but anyway, मी खाली चाललोय. He went down आणि आम्ही आमच्या कारमध्ये बसलो आणि परत निघालो तिथनं. 2 minutes मध्ये ही केम बॅक. वॉचमॅनला म्हटलं कुठे गेले, म्हटलं गेले निघून. अरे मॅडमने सांगितलं त्यांना ताबडतोब घ्या इकडे खाली. म्हणलं नंबर घेतलाय का तुम्ही? म्हणलं नाही मी नंबर नाही घेतला सर म्हणाल. तर ही वॉज व्हेरी मच सॉरी देशपांडे, आणि माझं चुकलं तर मी त्यांचा नंबर नव्हता घेतला. आणि दुसऱ्या दिवशी मी जेव्हा आलो त्यावेळेला दॅट फेलो फर्स्ट थिंग हे अपॉलॉजाइज. म्हटलं आज मी टीचरना सांगितल्याबरोबर त्यांनी सांगितलं ताबडतोब त्याला बोलवा आतमध्ये. म्हटलं आय जस्ट मिस्ड यू. तर म्हटलं ओके. त्याच्यानंतर मी बायकोला संजीवन फिरवलं, ते सगळं झालं. पण ते स्टोरी पार्ट ना, देर वॉज नो व्हिडिओ रेकॉर्डिंग. सो व्हॉट एव्हर आय टोल्ड टू हर वॉज जस्ट नॅरेटेड बाय वन मिस्टर वसंत देसाई हू हॅड फॅन्टॅस्टिक इमॅजिनेशन. तर शी हॅड हार्ड टाइम टू डिसाईड हा खरं सांगतोय का खोटं सांगतोय. आता हे जे कॉमन रूम्स बनणं सगळे कॉमन एक्सपिरियन्सेस मिळत आहेत, इन्क्लुडिंग द इटिंग ऑफ कैरी. आणि अशोक सरांनी मला पकडलं होतं. त्यांनी 12 कैऱ्या आणि तिखट मीठ सगळं ठेवलं आणि म्हणाले हा संपवायच्या. त्याच्यानंतर आजपर्यंत मी कैऱ्या नाही खाऊ शकलो.
आणि त्या कैऱ्या आहे ना आपल्या
ते रतन
कैऱ्या
कोटेच्या
आपल्या 3 वर होतं ना, 3 वर पडलं की कळायचं अरे कैरी पडली तर लगेच आपण पण म्हणजे आम्ही तरी
आणि
आवळे पण होते.
अजून एक आठवण, जांभळं खाल्ले की
तुम्ही म्हंटल ना तुम्हाला स्नॅक्स, आम्हाला ना तेव्हा संध्याकाळी बिस्किट मिळायचे किंवा शेंगदाण्याचं पॅकेट किंवा असं सगळं मिळायचं. आणि ते मारी बिस्किट खाऊन ना असं म्हणजे आम्ही कुठ्ठ्यांचं बिस्किट म्हणायला लागलो होतो, इतकं कंटाळा यायचा. मग ते मारी बिस्किट टेस्टी कसं बनवायचं, तर आम्ही 2 बिस्किट मध्ये जॅम अप्लाय करायचं, पिक्चर लावायचं किंवा बटर आणि चीज. मग आता रिसेंटली म्हणजे 10 वर्ष आधी बहुतेक मोनॅकोनी पण ऍड काढली असेल ते म्हणजे सगळं कोणीतरी व्यक्ती असू शकतो.
मी तेच म्हटलं आपलं रिसर्च करायला लागेल. मोनॅकोमध्ये कोणीतरी एक संजीवनाला असणार, कारण ही सगळी कन्सेप्ट आयडिया फक्त संजीवन मधनं आल्या.
आणि जांभळांची आठवण सगळ्यांना असेल. जांभळं खाल्ले की इंद्रे सर भेटले की म्हणायचे जरा आ कर जीभ दाखव. लगेच कबड्डी जांभळं खाल्ल्याचं खाल्लं.
आणि एक रिठ्याचं झाड होतं, रिठ्याचं झाड प्लेग्राऊंड जवळ, म्हणजे बॉईज डॉमेटरीच्याकडे. वी टू कलेक्ट देम अँड वॉश अवर सॉक्स, यु नो, नॅचरल सोप. आणि सॉक्सचा वास पण जायचा
आवळ्याचं झाड पण आहे ग्राउंडवर. खूप सारे आवळे लागतात तिकडे. आता
पडतात खाली सगळे, पाऊस पडतो आवळ्यावर तिकडे.
हो, तेथे ग्राउंडवर ते आपलं स्टोर रूम होतं ना, त्याच्या मागेच होतं. आणि इझिली मध्ये पडू शकत होतो त्याच्यात.
आणि आम्ही ते निवडून मग ते आय मीन गोळा करून ते मिठाच्या पाण्यामध्ये टोचून ते पाणी ठेवायचं. आय रिमेंबर दॅट. जॅमच्या बॉटलमध्ये
टोचायला कंपासचा डिवायडर वापरायचा.
मी कैरीचं लोणचं करायचा, कैरीचं गोड लोणचं करायचा प्रयत्न केला होता. त्याला कट करून त्याचे तुकडे तुकडे करून मधात घालून ठेवलं त्याला. म्हटलं 15-20 दिवसांनी तरी होईल. कैरी खराब झाली, मध राहायला इंटॅक्ट. पण तरी त्या कंडिशन मध्ये आम्ही ते नाही गोड लोणचंच आहे म्हणून खाल्लं, फिनिश केलं.
एक दालचिनीचं पण झाड होतं प्लेग्राऊंडच्या इथे जायच्या आधी.
दालचिनी?
हा, दालचिनी.
अरे बापरे, आय डोंट रिमेंबर.
नॉट मेनी न्यू बट तिकडे आम्ही
स्पाइस मॅम दालचिनी तिकडे.
फणस खाल्ल्याचं
सगळ्यांनी बघायला पाहिजे, तिकडे असणार, मोठं होतं.
फणस खाल्ल्याचं आठवतंय.
अनेक झाडं तोडली माहितीये संजीवन मधली. तो लास्ट टाइम हॅड नॅट गॉन ना चिराग, तेव्हा एक मोठं सिल्वर ओकचं झाड पण फुल कट करून असे लॉग जमा केलेले.
बहुतेक ते हेवी रेनफॉल मध्ये झालंही असेल, त्यामुळे कट केलं असेल. नाही तर इव्हन असेंब्ली ग्राउंडचं पण नाहीये. असेंब्ली ग्राउंडवर पण
मध्यभागी होतं,
तिथे पण होतं. मध्यभागी नाही, कॉर्नरलाच होते, पण ते पण दिसत.
प्रसन्न वाटायचं ना, सिल्वर ओकची झाड बघितली की प्रसन्न वाटायचं.
तरी आता खूप कमी झाली आहेत, म्हणजे डायनिंग हॉल कडची पण सिल्वर ओकची झाडं कमी झाली आहेत.
आणि इव्हन समर म्हणजे विंटर मध्ये ते डेझी फ्लावर दिसायचे, ते पण कमी झाले. ऑन द वे टू स्कूल ना ते डेझी फ्लावर किती प्लेझंट वाटायचं, ते नाही दिसत आता.
हो,
डेलिया
किती छान. ते न्यू स्कूल मधून शाळेत परत येताना तो फुलांचा सडा पडलेला असायचा. ती फुलं माझ्याशी बोलतायत असं मला वाटायचं. काही फुलं ताजी असायची, काही कालची परवाची जुनी फुलं असायची.
आणि झेंडूची फुलं आहे ना, ते पावसाळ्यात यायची, फक्त पावसाळ्यात. त्या दगडांच्या याच्या प्रत्येक याच्यामध्ये, आता माहित नाही येतं की
दगडांच्या गॅप्स मध्ये फुले.
ते नॅचरल होतं, फक्त पावसाळ्यात दिसायचं ते.
राईट.
हे सगळं निसर्ग आहे ना, ह्या अर्बन स्कूल्सला बिलकुल मिळत नाही स्टुडंट्सना. त्याच्यामुळे देर इज अ डिफरंट वे ऑफ एज्युकेटिंग पीपल. म्हणजे ते तिथं शाळेमध्ये शिकला नाही तरी नेचर ओनली टीचेस यू सो मच इन संजीवन. Really, just
nature.
being
Yeah,
with nature.
आपल्या सॉरी
कधी
नाही बोला सर.
नाही त्यांना
शाळा
तर माझं किचनचं काम सगळं बाकी आहे. I should go now.
Yes.
आज 3 minutes, only 3 minutes.
या
3 मिनिटात काय होणार?
मी काय म्हणतो, मला एक आठवण सांगायची
तर
आहे.
तुम्ही 5 मिनिटं स्किट केली ना मुख्य न बोलता तर 3 मिनिटात काहीतरी होऊ शकतं.
I'll keep quiet.
फणसाची माझी एक आठवण आहे. फणस पण खाण्याचा वस्तू होती. एकदा काही मित्रांनी मला बरोबर नेलं आणि ते सगळे फणसाचे एक्सपर्ट होते. त्यात ते एखाद 2 गावातले पण होते. आणि मग आम्ही ड्रॉइंग हॉलच्या वर तिकडे एका ठिकाणी गेलो. झाडावरनं चढून एक चांगला फणस त्याने कापला. ते कापायला लागतं, तो फार कठीण असतं तोडणं. खाली अगदी सेफली खाली आणला, कारण तो वरून फेकता येत नाही. मग तिथे खड्डा केला आणि जमिनीत पुरला. आणि तो म्हणे आता बरोबर आपण काही दिवसांनी 1 आठवडा का काहीतरी 4 दिवस आपण इथे यायचं. मला वाटतं 10 दिवस लागतात फणस पिकायला. आम्ही तारीख ठरवली. मग त्या तारखेला आम्ही परत तिथे गेलो. तर खड्ड्यातून तो माती उकरून तो फणस बाहेर काढला. पिकलेले मस्त मस्त गरे त्या चाकून कापून कापून तो फणस खाला. ते
मला माहित नव्हतं असं जमिनीत पुरून पिकवायचं असतं त्याला.
मला
एक मेथड ती आहे.
हो, आपल्याकडे कच्च्या फणसाची भाजी फेमस आहे आपल्या साईडला.
मला आजपर्यंत कळलेलं नाही कच्च्या फणसाची भाजी लोक खातात कशी.
अरे
आमच्याकडे पण करतात. आमच्याकडे मी
कोकणातले लोक
बाहेर जातो जेवायला.
आमच्याकडे एक घर खाल्लं तरी पचत नाही, मला जड वाटतं.
अलका, तू काही बोलली नाहीस अलका?
Yeah. No, I enjoyed your journey down memory lane. खूप मजा आली. आणि त्याचं पंढरपूर वारी book also ना, I learned everything about that wari from that book.
Yeah,
So it's really very well written, very easy to read and understand, and it's a quick book also. एका म्हणजे 1-2 तासात संपून पण जाईल, पण it's really very informative and very like minute by minute खूप छान होतं.
Yes, you got it among the first. You were among the first people.
Yours was the
Pandharpur Wari, sorry,
all year long. So finally we got to hear from you. So this was Majari. I'm just busy because we have to go out soon, but I'm just
okay.
Yeah, we had a very long meeting today. Thank you very much.
It was very nice.
I enjoyed.
Discussion.
तुमच्या त्या पंढरपूर वारीमुळे त्या YouTube कॅनल वाल्यांनी व्हर्च्युअल वारीचा पण एक इव्हेंट काढलाय. आणि 100 रुपीज रजिस्ट्रेशन आहे आणि यू कॅन डू द वारी व्हर्च्युअली. म्हणजे यू डोंट नीड टू गो फिजिकली देअर, बट
मी फिजिकली जाऊन आले आता.